From the Pleasant Valley Country Club in Sutton, Massachusetts, CBS Television brings you live the second annual Golf Championship. The final round of this $200,000 golf championship is brought to you by the Carling Brewing Company, brewers of Carling Black Label, the beer with more life in the flavor, and Carling Red Cap, the U.S. ale made with fine imported ingredients, and by B.F. Goodrich Tires, the tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jack Whitaker speaking from the 18th green at the Pleasant Valley Country Club in Sutton, Massachusetts, where the final round of the second annual Carling World Golf Championship coming to a close. Arnold Palmer chipping at 16. Let's go to the 16th green.
Now that was Palmer pitching up from a rather bad tee shot, which pitched among the spectators on the right of the green and mercifully didn't kill anybody. He's in a tremendous duel with Tony Lima, who is at this moment just on the 15th green behind him. And Lima, while he was waiting to drive at the 15th, heard the tremendous cheer which greeted a birdie putt of Palmer's on the last green, which made them 5 below par, level with 3 to go for Palmer and 4 to go for Lima. There's Mike Suchak. And now putting below us here is Blancas, overnight leader with Lima. Now 1 over par. Beautiful putt from about 30 feet gives Blancas a par 3 on the 16th. Palmer in the foreground, overshot with his chip from under the trees. And so to the 15th.
This is the 15th, where Tony Lima has played his second shot a little strong and is just at the breaking point, just off the putting surface at the upper side of this 2-level green. The pin is in the upper level today. He is 30, 40 feet away. And he goes by about a foot. Very fine lagging putt. He'll have this putt for his par here. Over to Henry Longhurst at the 16th.
And now, as Lima finishes at the 15th, on the 16th green just in front of him, here is Palmer, who's been in the trees and among the spectators, pitched up not too well, and is 11 or 12 feet away. This for his par 3. At the moment, he and Lima are 5 under. No, he hasn't been happy with his putting all the week, and that wasn't a good one. So he loses his stroke there to par. And when he gets this in, he'll be 4 under, and Lima 5. And now over to 80.
And at this moment, the leader of this second annual Carling World Golf Championship is Tony Lima at 5 under par.
From among the foreign players who come to compete in this Carling World Golf Championship, quite a group represents the United Kingdom. Hello, I'm James Daly. As you know, the United Kingdom is famous for great golfers. It's also famous for great beers. For example, this one. It's very British, very Irish, very Canadian, very Scottish. We could import them, but we don't, because this international favorite is brewed on both sides of the Atlantic. Now, this beer is very American. Here in the USA, Carling Black Label is brewed in 9 strategically located plants from coast to coast, which is why, wherever you are, you can buy this international favorite of premium quality at the popular local price. Carling Black Label is a big word for refreshment in more than 50 countries around the globe, and the USA is one of them. Try it. You'll like it.
At this moment at Pleasant Valley Country Club, Tony Lima is on the 16th tee, so let's go to Kerry Middlecoff and see what this hole is like.
The 16th hole is 193 yards, demanding today's flag placement. Back in the right is 205 yards. Arnold Palmer just bogeyed this hole by going to the right, and now Henry Longhurst on 16.
Joe Campbell has just played his tee shot almost identically in the same place where Arnold Palmer did among those people on the left. But the man we're really watching is Tony Lima. Here's the last threesome out, coming to the 16th. One in the lead. Beautiful shot if it's up, and it is. That's a very fine shot indeed to a narrow target about 25 feet away. This is the hole where Lima has already had 2 twos and very nearly won 1. And now quickly to 17.
Arnold Palmer on the 17th tee, 1 stroke behind. And he's not going to gamble on this hole. This is a very demanding tee shot, a highly curving dog leg to the right, and he's going off with a 1 iron. He'll try to fade this around the curve of the dog leg. Sends it down toward the left-hand side. Let's see if that will stay in the fairway. No, it bounds out and into the deep rough. Arnold Palmer will now have a real problem shot getting into the 17th green. It's that heavy tangled grass that has put some of the players in the water in front of 17, and Palmer has a bad lie out there in this deep and holding grass. Tony Lima in the lead by 1 shot, 5 under par, walking toward the 16th green. Arnold Palmer, 4 under par. And here's a great spot for Dr. Kerry Middlecoff to come in and give us a little discussion on this 17th hole, because it's a dandy.
The 17th hole is, Jack, a very demanding hole. A dog leg to the right, 402 yards long. The players cannot afford to miss to the right. The place is to the left, but as Arnold Palmer went through the fairway, he now has a difficult second shot with about a 5 or 6 iron over this lake. He'll be about 175 yards from the green. The flag is cut in a relatively easy place, back right. But I know he wants it in the fairway, being 1 stroke behind for this $35,000 prize. And now Jack Drees.
Here they come up the 17th. That's Mike Suchak walking on the right. Arnold Palmer in your picture just behind the caddy on the left. And they stride up the fairway of number 17 to survey Arnold Palmer's second shot. This will be a tough one for Arnie. Roberto Di Vincenzo, certainly one of the real fine golfers and one of the top foreign players in this tournament, was in almost the same place as Arnold Palmer in the high and heavy grass, grabbed his club as he swung into it, and he put it right in the middle of the pond. Palmer looking up at the pin placement, which you saw just a moment ago. Well, this is a pressure moment, Kerry.
Jack, Arnold's got 2 problems. That's that big yawning chasm that's over the green with the creek bed that's right beside your tower. He has got to get over this water, but if he goes over the next water, he's not only worried about losing a stroke to Tony Lima, but some of the players behind him. And for this kind of money, as I said, I'm sure he wished he'd have put it in the fairway, but maybe he drew a little bit better lie than we saw. And so now back to Jack Drees.
The pin today up in the upper right-hand corner gives him a lot of room between the edge of the pond and the pin, some 72 feet. So he's got a lot of green in front of the pin to hit to, but it's about the only spot on the green that gives him a breaking putt. The rest of the green is pretty much table flat. But up in that upper right-hand corner, it does give most putts a little bit of a break. Well, we take a look at Arnold Palmer and still can't see the golf ball that's nestled down in the grass. He's about 170 yards out. And he's going to come in with a 4-iron. He's figuring the grass to kill the shot a little bit. A tough, deep lie. And it just clears the pond, hits on the front edge of the green, comes to a halt with a putt that will be about 80 feet from the pin. Now quickly, let's get out to 16 and Tony Lima.
Out here on the short 16th, in the last threesome to play, is Tony Lima, 5 below par. Just in front of him on the 17th is Palmer, 4 below. Tony Lima with a putt of about 25 feet for a 2 on the 193-yard 16th hole, which is playing about 210 yards. He's had 2 2s already. Can he get another? No, it hasn't got the legs, and it's 2 feet and a bit short, and it's missable. And now to 18.
This is Gary Player at 18, his second shot from the fairway. Player at this point, 1 under par. A par 5 hole. And he has hit a beauty. Will it stay in the fairway? No, it goes into the rough about 65 yards from the front of this tremendous green, but the rough is not too deep there. This green is 55 yards from front to back, and the pin today is 115 feet in from the front. Gary Player had 1 under par. Let's return now to the 16th.
Okay, 16th. 3, holding out. 3 over par. Putt from about 6 feet or so. Now Joe Campbell is 1 below. Campbell, 1 below for the tournament, level par for the day. Just makes it in the corner. And now, Tony Lima. He must get this one in. But it's missable. This to stay 5 below par with Palmer in front, 4 below. Right in the middle, 5 below par for Lima, and now over to 17.
And as Tony Lima maintains his position a stroke in front of Arnold Palmer standing here on 17, Palmer is surveying the line of an 80-foot putt. Palmer's tee shot hit with a 2-iron here on 17 wound up in the worst part of the rough, and he really hit a remarkable golf shot to get on the green, and he's 80 feet away from the cup. This will be pretty much of a straight putt, but it'll be pretty much of a full backswing, too. Arnold Palmer has been very pleased with his golf in this tournament. And as you all know, he's been unhappy with it through most of the year. But his game has been coming back to him, and suddenly today he turned loose that Palmer charge for which he's so famous. Sort of an afterthought there. Discovered a little something behind the ball. Kerry, I wouldn't want to be putting 80 feet for this kind of prize.
Well, I think, Jack, the one thing that's in Arnold's mind, if he can get this thing down in 2 some way, that he can possibly reach the long par 5 18th today and get a birdie. And that's his, just get close. That's what he wants to do.
Gave it a good ride. And he's about 5 feet past, and he's got a tricky one coming back. Back on the tee, Tony Lima, Jim Ferree, Joe Campbell's threesome, ready to go to bat, and there's Tony Lima on the tee. Tony Lima is going to hit a 3-wood. Try to keep it close to the trees on the right. Gets what looks like a nice shot off. It'll need a little bit of fade and doesn't get it. It goes deep in the rough and up on the hill. And he'll have a tough shot coming in. Mike Suchak back on the green is getting ready for his birdie putt, and this is a putt of about 30 feet away. Mike Suchak is 4 over par. He started the day 1 under, so it's been a long day for Mike. Homero Blancas is 1 over par. He started the day 4 under, the leader in the tournament. Suchak lays it up about a foot away to the right and will tap it in for his par and will remain at 4 over. Now, Homero Blancas, who was in trouble to the right off the tee, chipped just in front of the water, then came on, is now lying 3 and has about a 15-footer for his par. Homero was the leader at the start of the day's play, but Homero also was a pretty sick boy. He was running about a 2-degree fever when he teed off. The heavy rains here got to him a little bit, and he picked up a virus. He is not at his best today, and it's a tough luck situation, particularly since he shot a 68 in the opening round that was rained out. Had that stayed, he'd have been the winner. Homero gives it in, right, and puts it in the hole for a beautiful par. Now to 18.
At 18, this is Dave Marr with a 30-foot putt for birdie 4. He's even par at this point through the tournament. A new PGA champion. Fine putt here that goes 2 feet past. And Dave will need that for 5, a par. An even par for the tournament. Here we go back to 17.
Arnold Palmer, 5-footer for his par. It'll break a little right. A bogey for Arnold Palmer. And that rides him back to 3 under par. as he taps it in. Arnold Palmer 3 under par. Par 5 hole coming up. That will take all the muscle that this boy possesses. Now to 18.
The leader in this second annual Carling World Golf Championship is Tony Lima at 5 under par.
Sit. Signal.
Man, by nature, plays to win. He drives others as he drives himself. He drives a car the same way. Hard. Harder than a woman does. Now there are tires built for the way a man drives. B.F. Goodrich. The tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. On the roads a man travels, BFG's rugged cord soaks up shock. At his higher speeds, BFG's special rubber cuts down wear. For his kind of turns, his kind of stops, BFG's tread designs fight skid. B.F. Goodrich, the tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man.
B.F. Goodrich tires for the hard-driving man. Tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. B.F. Goodrich.
See your B.F. Goodrich dealer, the man who takes the guesswork out of buying tires.
Jack Whitaker, Pleasant Valley Country Club outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, reminding you that the CBS Sports Spectacular will return in January with the World Figure Skating Championships and the Duke Kahanamoku Surfing Championships in Hawaii. That's Tony Lima out at 17 for his second shot. He leads this tournament by 2 strokes at the present moment, so let's go out there to Jack Dries.
Tony Lima has selected a 7-iron for this shot. He's about 150 yards away, and he's got a side hill lie. And we look back now from the green. Just right in the upper center of your picture, in the middle of that crowd, is where the ball lies. He has a good lie there, as opposed to the tough, deep lie that Arnold Palmer had. He'll be able to pick the ball off quite well. But he's shooting from a side hill lie. Kerry, that side hill lie gives him somewhat of a problem. He got the break of a good lie in the grass.
Well, he gambled, Jack. He gambled and used a wood club, and I think he's about 30 yards closer to the green than Arnold was. And he also drew the good lie, and of course that's the thing that takes to win. And it does look like that Tony doesn't have over a 6 or 7 iron shot, and of course he wants now to put it right in the center of the green, because you can bet that somebody told him Arnold made a bogey here. And I'm sure he'll shoot right for the dead center of it. Now Jack Dries.
Palmer ready to come in to number 17. And he has switched clubs. He drew a 7-iron a moment ago and has now taken out a 6-iron for this shot coming in. Sends it out to the right, calls for it to hook, but it does not, and hits the crowd and bounds back onto the green. Only the gallery saved him from an impossible situation. Now quickly up to 18.
That's Arnold Palmer's tee shot here at 18. This par 5 hole in which you know he's going to be going for birdie here. And he hits it well out and is in good position on the right extreme edge of the fairway, and he can, if the lie is good enough, get home in 2 here. As they walk off the tee, this is Gary Player putting out at 18 for par 5, which would make him 1 under for the tournament. And he gets it. Gary Player finishing this tournament 1 stroke under par. And now you'll see the great panorama shot here as Arnie's Army, who really had something to cheer about this afternoon over this green, lush course at Pleasant Valley outside of Worcester, Massachusetts. This tournament, which is truly international in flavor and has a tremendous representation of wonderful golf players throughout the world. 21 of the foreign entries made the cut at the end of 36 holes. But we're down now to the final moments, and this gallery, which numbers some 9,500 this Monday afternoon, all seem to be divided now between 17 and 18, as Arnie's Army, as we said, had a lot to cheer about. At one point on the front 9 this morning, Tony Lima was 6 under and Palmer 2 under. And then Palmer birdied 9th, birdied 11, then Lima bogeyed 11, and then on the 15th with a great birdie, all of a sudden Arnold Palmer was tied with Tony Lima. Subsequently, as you know now, Arnie's had difficulty at 16 and 17. And here he comes, and it's been a while this year since Arnold Palmer from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, has walked up the fairway with this much bounce. He can get home here at this long 18th. Kerry Middlecoff, being out there this morning and watching Jack Nicklaus, Arnie is out a little further than Jack, but he's over against the rough. And I guess the key thing here will be his lie.
Fairway, and he does have a good lie. And from the right side, of course, with the flag cut to the left, he's got the best go at it. And if he can knock it in the middle of the green, he still may make Tony think. Tony just got a tremendous break hitting the gallery where you and I out there and looked this morning at what's over 17, and that's not very good. And now back to Jack Dries.
This is Tony Lima walking on the green at 17. It takes a tremendous amount of skill and a little bit of luck to win one of these tournaments, and Tony Lima got that little bit of luck right here. Hitting the gallery that is surrounding this green, it's an elevated green, and right behind the spectator that he hit, a young man who did not seem too disturbed at blocking Tony's shot, but right behind him is about a 12-foot drop into a virtual swamp. 18.
And this is Homero Blancas, who led this tournament, tied with Tony Lima at the end of 3 rounds at 4 under. Second shot at 18, he's got a 3-wood. And Homero, this young, magnificent golfer out of Houston, Texas, is playing today with a fever of 99 degrees. The doctor said he has a virus. And he's had his troubles on the golf course today, starting out at 4 under. And he hits it nicely. Coming up the steep incline that guards the 18th and just into the rough below the green. He's about 20 yards off the green. Mike Suchak, who is 4 over at this point in the tournament, who has one of the longest drives we've seen on this 18th today. And here's Palmer's second shot, and he's put it off to the left and into the trap, this bunker that guards the green here. And this is a shot you and I talked about, Kerry Middlecoff. He's got to carry the entire length of this trap, which is about 30 yards to the pin.
He's got a really tough one there, Jack. Downwind, too, and not much green to shoot at. I wouldn't like that.
This is Mike Suchak now. He gets a beauty off. It'll come in a little for him. And it doesn't. He goes into the trap that guards the right side of the green, and he'll have to pitch up about 110 feet to the pin. Let's go back to 17.
Tony Lima surveying his putt. This is a birdie attempt that will be struck from some 32 feet away, and it will come a little bit left as it comes down. And just to Lima's left, that tousle-haired blonde young man was the youngster who was the target for Tima's flying 6-iron. Let's take a look at where he would have been if he hadn't hit the crowd. Some fun down there. That was the area Bob Rosberg got into when he took a 9 in the actual opening round of this tournament. It's not enough. Draws up about 2 feet short, but Tony Lima, of course, is playing it commercial now. He just feels he's got it if he can par out. Jim Ferree now in the white shirt, looking over his putt. Jim spent a profitable several days with his father, Purvis Ferree, who is a retired golf professional over in Winston-Salem. And Jim had just been having his game go away from him. He lost his swing. Let's go quickly to 18.
And at 18, you get a look at Arnie's Army and part of the 18,555 people who come out here on Monday afternoon. Freeze putt, and it just goes by on the left side. The galleries here have been unbelievable, and there is Arnie Palmer coming up here on 18 to receive the adulation of his army as he takes a look at what he must do for his third shot here. He's in the bunker to the left of the green, and his shot must go over most of this bunker because the pin position today is right in front of it. He put on a magnificent display here, the kind that Arnold Palmer fans are used to, and he really shook this tournament apart as he stormed across the acres of Pleasant Valley here until he reached the 16th hole. It looked like he was going to go right through the roof. Tony Lima playing right behind him. There are 2 shots different between them. The galleries here for this tournament since last Monday are well over 100,000. Truly remarkable demonstration of the enthusiasm for golfers in the New England area. And there's a great shot looking back to the clubhouse in the 18th green. And there'll be more here as Lima comes up right behind this threesome. Mike Suchak, Arnold Palmer, and Homero Blancas. This wonderful tournament, which is drawn so well here, moves to England next year. It will be played at the Royal Birkdale course in England, the scene of this year's British Open. Suchak 4 over, Blancas 4 over, and Arnold Palmer, of course, is 3 under at this point. Let's go back to 17.
Here at 17, Tony Lima is surveying a troubled Jim Faree, who is in the process of 3-putting this green to pick up a bogey and go 4 over par. And now Tony Lima sets his ball at the mark. He's got about 3 feet to go, and this is not a putt that can be babied. This putt will come a little bit to the left. But there are 83 players survived the cut, played through this final round, and 80 of them have walked around this cup. Quickly to 18.
Homero Blancas, third shot. It's 1 over par at this point, and he puts this shot up nicely. He goes past the pin about 20 feet, and now out to 17.
Now Tony Lima. Green, as I mentioned, somewhat bumpy from this being the last threesome. And he put it right in the back of the cup for his car. Holds at 5 under par as he leaves this green and goes to the final hole of this tremendous Carling World Championship. 18.
And Mike Suchak flies his trap shot over the green and into the gallery. And we have lost the ball. Tough shot that Mike had, because that's exactly what can happen, and if the gallery wasn't there, he could be in worse trouble. All right, Arnold Palmer now with tough shot. Got about 30 feet of green between the edge of the trap and the pin. Another super shot by Arnold Palmer here, 7 feet from the pin in 3. The leader of the second annual Carling World Golf Championship is Tony Lima at 5 under par.
Carling Black Label, the beer with more life in the flavor.
Put more flavor in your life, more fun, more cheer with Carling Black Label. Black Label beer.
For the big Labor Day weekend ahead, stock up on flavor. Get set with Carling Black Label, the beer with more life in the flavor. Here's great refreshment to team up with good fun and good food. Holiday time, any old time. Flavor it's got. Get it. Enjoy it. Carling Black Label. You'll like it.
If your pleasures seem too few, you know what to do. Label, Black Label, the beer with more, the beer with more, the beer with more life in the flavor.
Mike Suchek now, 45 feet from the pin. Very nicely done by Mike Suchek as he puts it 2 feet from the pin. Tony Lima's tee shot at 18. And it's right up on that nice short green fairway and well out. We'll resume with more action of the second annual Carling World Golf Championship from Pleasant Valley after we pause for station identification.
The loveliest girls match their charms and talents for a chance to be Miss America, September 11th on CBS.
Back live at Pleasant Valley, where Homero Blancas has just canned a 20-footer for birdie 4 here at 18 to make him even par for this tournament. Now Arnold Palmer has his putt for par here, or for birdie rather. Just about 8 feet away. He's 3 under at this point, with Tony Lima in the fairway behind him, 5 under. He could use this. $35,000 first prize, $17,000 second prize. Could not have missed it any more and not had it in the cup. Just, well, you see it. And the putts here should have broken into the cup, the way the grain runs here. But Palmer putts out for 5, a magnificent round here today. It's 2 under par for today and 3 under for the tournament for Arnold Palmer. It's Mike Suchek. Par 5. And he gets it, and Mike will finish 4 over for the tournament. So now Tony Lima knows what he has to do. With a 2-stroke lead at this point and waiting on the fairway to hit his second shot. Here he comes with Joe Camel with the ever-present cigar. The big boy from Purdue who has started to play magnificent golf the last 6 weeks on the tour. And Jim Faree. So Tony Lima now, holding a 2-stroke advantage over Arnold Palmer, the last threesome on the course, as the second annual Carling World Golf Championship is just moments away from conclusion. And what a championship it has been. Held, of course, to promote better understanding and goodwill through this truly international game of golf, and it's exactly what they've done. There have been some fine rounds turned in here by the foreign players, Roberto Di Vincenzo from Argentina. And now let's bring in Kerry Middlecoff here. Kerry, the second shot here at 18, as soon as the crowd gets away from in front of the green, doesn't present Tony with too much difficulty right now. He's in fine position.
It doesn't now, Jack, but if Arnold had have made that putt, I think Tony then would have had to consider laying up short and not getting those 2 big, deep bunkers. We may see Tony take a run at it now, but it's a lot easier than it would have been. And as you said, Arnold's putt should have broken left. That grain's strong. So anyway, now back to Joe Campbell and Jack Whitaker.
Camel hits this nicely with a slight draw on it. And he comes up on the left side of the fairway, just short of the green by about 20 yards. Tony Lima, 5 under. He can make 6 here and still win. It is with slight draw too, but it's coming up very nicely. Bounces out more toward the center, still rolling up this steep incline, 25 yards from the green here at 18. He'll have a pitch up. As we said, that pin is cut 115 feet back. And Tony ought to have a good look at it. He's far enough up that steep incline. And now Jim Ferree. 4 over at this point.
Excellent.
He's put it out to the right. And the gallery here is scurrying as the marshals go down to spot it. And as they walk up here, the leader of this second annual Carling World Golf Championship is Tony Lima at 5 under par.
Consider man in motion. He starts fast, cuts corners close, even stops abruptly. He drives a car the same way, hard, harder than a woman will. Now there are tires built for the way a man drives. B.F. Goodrich, the tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. On the roads a man travels, BFG's rugged cord soaks up shock. At his higher speeds, BFG's extra tough rubber shrugs off wear. For his kind of turns, his kind of stops, BFG's tread designs fight skids. B.F. Goodrich, the tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man.
B.F. Goodrich tires for the hard-driving man. Tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. B.F. Goodrich.
See your B.F. Goodrich dealer, the man who takes the guesswork out of buying tires.
Here at Pleasant Valley Country Club, outside of Worcester, Massachusetts, and there's the gallery. These tremendous galleries from New England who have certainly been a new earmark in professional golf. Very seldom have we seen galleries like them. They have been huge every day since the practice rounds began on Monday. They're a hardy breed. They've been out here through thunderstorm and downpour and sun and wind, and not very few of them have quit. Surprising here on a Monday afternoon, a lot of them didn't get to the office because they were out here early, and they're staying now to the bitter end to see Tony Lima come up here leading this tournament. He is 5 under par. Arnold Palmer is 3 under par. And Tony is just in front with a chip up for his 3rd. But the galleries here and the international players have certainly made this a unique tournament and one to remember for a long, long while. Hideo Sugimoto of Tokyo, Japan, had a fine 68 here today. Yesterday, Wilf Hominick of Canada had a 67, which ties the course record. It's just been a wonderful tournament, and here it is in all its colored excitement now as it comes to a close. Tony Lima, who won the Buick Championship this year for his only major win in 1965. He's going to take a look, and he's got to take a look because this pin is so far back, the screen's so large, and he's down in a depression. His fairway position slants away from the green. Tony Lima, who so far has refused to crack under tremendous pressure brought to bear by Arnold Palmer, who charged from 4 strokes behind him to catch him at the 15th. And Tony just kept playing steady golf. Jim Ferree now, who has pushed his second shot down to the right of the trap which guards this green and into the gallery. They formed an alley down there for him. He'll have to pitch over the trap and up to the green, and he's about 40 yards from the pin. This tournament, which is scheduled to begin on Thursday, we had to cancel the first round, some fine rounds in that. And it's truly been representative of the best golf in the world. Any one of 10 players could have won this when they started final play. Lima's third shot up here at 18, and it is just magnificent. 4 feet from the pin here at 18. As Tony Lima gets a step nearer this second annual Carling World Golf Championship. He is there in 3. He leads Arnold Palmer at this point by 2 strokes. Jim Ferree now, deep in the gallery, 40 yards away from the pin. Jack Tuthill of the PGA, making sure that Jim has a shot. But now I think Camel will be approaching before Ferree. Almost hit the pin. It goes by 6 feet. A fine shot here by Joe Camel, who is 1 under par at this time and who has had a fine tournament. Now Jim Ferree. And up he comes very nicely if it'll stop. Awfully hard to hold this green. It runs off the fringe, comes back and stops in heavy fringe. 22 feet from the pin at 18. That's Tony Lima, the nearest ball to the pin there, waving to the crowd. 6 feet for birdie 4, which would put him 6 under. Arnold Palmer in the clubhouse, 3 under. On a beautiful August day here in New England that has seen some tremendous golf. Sam Snead finished this tournament 1 under par, the same as Gary Player. Dave Marr and Homero Blancas were at even par. Charlie Sifford at 2 over. Bobby Nichols, the defending champion, and Gordon Dickinson at 3 over. And now let's go to the 18th green and George Rogers.
Well, as they're preparing to putt out, we have with us the man who made such a tremendous run today, Tony Lima, with his famous and patented charge. But Arnie, today it just fell a bit short when you had trouble at 16 and 17.
That's right, George. The 16th, I had the wrong club off the tee, tried to stretch a 4-iron into the green and put it to the right, hit a bad chip. Missed the putt. And then 17, I 3-putted. And, of course, I figured that things were in bad shape when I did that. I played good, though, and it was a little bit more encouraging to me to get going again and get feeling like really playing. And I thought for a while I might be able to get through it today.
Well, if you could have put 2 shots home here on 18, it could have gotten very interesting.
Well, I was trying to do that. I pulled the second shot a little bit at 18, or it would have been up.
If you had it to do over again, and of course you don't, would you have hit the wood on 17 as you did?
Well, of course, I doubt it very much. I think that it's a iron hole off the tee. I pulled my iron shot, or I would have had a very good opportunity to go right at the pin. And it's a narrow hole, and I watched both the other fellows hit it to the right, and I didn't want to do that. I knew you had not much of a chance from there.
No way at all. Well, 2 consolations, Arnie, as we would all see it. First of all, your game definitely coming back, which must be tremendously encouraging. And secondly, it'll check for $17,000, which is not too bad.
Well, thank you, George. I'm looking forward to playing a little more this year yet.
Well, all your fans are looking forward to seeing you continue to play great golf, and I know it'll all come back to you. Congratulations, Arnie, on a great run. You really thrilled the gallery today.
Thank you very much.
Now let's get back to the green and live action.
That was Jim Ferree chipping, and he goes 2 feet past. He'll have that for his par.
Joe Camel now, 6 feet for his bird. Dr. Middlecoff, these are level putts, but that's about all you can say about them, isn't it?
Well, if I had Tony Lima's, of course, it'd be the smoothest looking putt I ever saw, but the one that Joe Campbell has, Jack, what is it, about 12 or 13 feet?
Camel's, it looks to me it'd be about 6 or 7 here, Carrie.
Well, this means just a whole bunch of money to him. He does lay 3, if I'm not mistaken, putting for a birdie, and if he can make this putt, he finishes second by himself rather than a 3-way tie for third, and it's worth several $1,000s.
Big putt for Joe Camel.
And he get it. He'll finish 2 under par. And third place to himself, and is he happy? Joe Camel, whose game has suddenly come back to him strongly in these last 6 weeks, and he finishes strongly here. Third place for Joe Camel, 2 under par. He isn't happy a little bit, is he?
Jack Whitaker, I think that Joe Campbell about the middle of May was really almost in financial trouble, and since then he's won about $40,000, so he's that happy.
Now, Jim Ferry now is going to putt out before Lima.
Attaboy, Jim, par 5. And Jim Ferry finishes at 4 over par, 288. And he throws the ball halfway down the 18th fairway as Tony Lima now, with this birdie putt of about 4 feet. I guess it is kind of easy at that, Doctor, at this point, isn't it?
Well, it's the only putt Tony's ever had, I'm sure, that's right into the teeth of the green that looks absolutely beautiful. 3 putts to win from 6 feet, $35,000. And he's still not mad.
Par 5. And the new champion, Tony Lima, finishes this tournament at 5 under par and is the new Carling World Golf Champion. 279, 5 under par for Tony Lima. The winner of the second annual Carling World Golf Championship is Tony Lima at 5 under par. We'll be right back with more news from Pleasant Valley Country Club.
It's been called the Olympics of Golf, and the Carling World Golf Championship is very much like the Olympics, except while amateurs do compete, the participants are mainly top professionals from around the world, striving for a great world championship. And this in an atmosphere of friendship and goodwill. You'll find this kind of atmosphere in thousands of places on both sides of the Atlantic where people enjoy Carling Black Label beer in the company of good friends. In more than 50 countries around the world, from Atlanta to Aberdeen, from Boston to the Bahamas, the refreshing, exciting flavor of Carling Black Label has made this great beer the most famous brand of the world's largest brewing organization. And you can enjoy Carling Black Label's international quality at your favorite tavern or right in your own backyard, and always at the popular local price. Next time, try it. You'll like it.
All right, here's the scene at the 18th green at Pleasant Valley Country Club as Tony Lima has just finished at 5 under par to be the new champion of the Carling World Golf Championship. It has been a tremendous tournament, one we told you in which the foreign players and the American players all played stupendously wonderful golf against sometimes bad weather conditions and other times perfect weather conditions. Let's read some scores for you here. Bobby Nichols, the defending champion, finished at 3 over. Jack Nicklaus finished at 7 over. Ben Hogan finished 9 over. Paul Harney, the home pro, at 5 over. Charlie Sifford and Claude King, an ex-football coach, finished at 2 over. Homero Blancas, the young man from Houston, whom you're going to hear more and more about, finished at even par, along with Dave Marr, the current PGA champion. Sam Snead, putting with a driver and a 2-iron from the 10th hole on today, finished at 1 under, along with Gary Player. Then Joe Camel, the big blonde boy from Purdue, finishing at 2 under in third place. Arnold Palmer, who really shook it up here this afternoon, finishing In second place, 3 under. And, of course, your champion at the top, Tony Lima, at 5 under. Dave Marr and Arnold Palmer there now, getting ready for the presentation ceremonies across the 18th green. And while we're waiting here, we'd just like to remind you that CBS Television will bring you more championship golf throughout the year. Beginning on December 25th, the third year in a row, the CBS Golf Classic will come to you, and this time it will come from the lovely La Costa Country Club in Southern California. We have over there Dave Marr and Arnold Palmer and all the zone representatives. Qualification for the Carling was made by zone. Asia and the Far East, Australasia, which includes Australia and New Zealand, South America, Africa, Europe, Canada, Great Britain, and Ireland, and of course the United States. That's Mr. Kaz Mingola of Pleasant Valley Country Club there, whose thanks we would like to express at this point. He and Ray Bear of Pleasant Valley have been just wonderful hosts for this tournament. Also to Paul Harney, the home pro, to Dick Taylor, the tournament director, and of course special thanks to Doc Giffen of the PGA, who never fails to supply the working press with all that we need. Mr. Henry Russell, the president of Carling Brewery, right behind Mr. Mingola. As the champion, Mr. Tony Lima is coming across, so let's go down to the 18th green and George Rogers.
Tony, you look like you're flying the mail to Chicago there, my friend.
I feel like I'm on Gemini right now. In fact, I think I'm flying higher than they are, George.
Well, congratulations to you. It must have been a tremendous win. Kerry Middlecoff was saying earlier today, Tony, that you didn't really even feel up to coming to this golf tournament. Your game wasn't quite sharp and you didn't feel well physically, and yet you come here and win it all.
That's true, George. That just goes to show you what a great, crazy game this is. I really, before the tournament, I got here on Monday, and I played Tuesday, and I was playing so poorly, and I was so tired that I even skipped playing on Wednesday, which I've never done before. I felt awful, but as the week progressed, I felt more rested. The tee shots were a lot straighter, and the putting started working, so heck, I feel great right now.
Boy, I'll bet you just feel so good it isn't even funny. How did you feel down at the 15th hole?
Well, I knew that Arnie had made it to tie me there, and I tried to knock mine in. I knocked it over. I thought that he was making another one of his charges, and I thought that if I was to stand still, I was going to feel somebody going by me awful fast. And when he bogeyed 16 and 17, which I didn't expect, it just, good God, if you can't win with a two-stroke lead, I don't know how you ever can.
Well, it takes a lot of things to win a major golf tournament, Tony, as you certainly know, and Arnold, too. You've got to have all the shots and a lot of nerve, but you also got a pretty good break at 17. Some nameless spectator certainly kept you from going over the green there and possibly into some trouble.
Well, George, a player like me has to have an awful lot of good luck, or I would never be standing up here, believe me.
Well, I'd like to congratulate you once again, and of course, next year we'll all be looking forward to seeing you at the Royal Birkdale in England, where you'll be defending your Carling World Championship in the third annual tourney. So once again, congratulations.
George, I'm just going to slip a little of that Moet champagne in that Carling cup and mix it up and go to town.
See you right after the telecast. Cuz Mingola is waiting for you right now. Tony, if you'll step over, I think we're about ready to get underway with the formal presentation ceremonies. Cuz, you're on.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that the 1965 Carling World Golf Championship has been so successfully concluded and has so exceeded all our expectations, we at Pleasant Valley would like to extend our warmest congratulations to the 1965 champion Tony Lima, and also our warmest congratulations to Arnie Palmer for making such a gallant fight of it. To the Carling Brewing Company goes our deep appreciation for giving us the opportunity to host the 1965 Carling World. Our association with this outstanding company has been extremely pleasant and a most rewarding experience. I am privileged to present now a gentleman whose help, enthusiasm, encouragement, and friendship has become tremendously important to us the president of the Carling Brewing Company, Henry E. Russell.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this beautiful Pleasant Valley Club and golf lovers across the nation and Canada that are viewing us on television, I simply want you to realize that while our principal reason for conducting the Carling World Golf Championship is to promote Carling's fine beverages of moderation, Black Label, and Red Cap, but there's another reason, and that is simply that we think that we have been able to add the international dimension through golf to better relations among nations. 49 of our golf pros here, representing 13 foreign countries, qualified to play in this second tournament, and 22 made the cut and have played here today. Now, the trophy that I'm about to award, it bears a modest inscription which simply says, towards international friendship and understanding. It is in this spirit that I am really thrilled to present to our new world champion the winner's trophy with a fine score of 279, Tony Lima, with whom I'm going to have a terrible problem converting to the beverage of moderation, but I'm going to work on it. Excuse me.
He's going back in.
Excuse me. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, at Oakland Hills, we had another great champion in Bobby Nichols, who had a 278. And this year, we have a really great runner-up, Arnie Palmer, with a 281. Arnie, I'd like to say to you, if I may, that it's not the winner of the race, but the spirit of the chase. And I know you don't like being a bridesmaid, but you gave us a wonderful charge today. Congratulations to you. And I would also like to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the amateur winner. Everybody has to be an amateur before they're a pro, and in Nick Westlock...
The international golf tournament now has come to a conclusion with Tony Lima, the new champion. And we've even had an international flavor on our broadcast. We've been delighted to have had Henry Longhurst of the BBC, former member of Parliament and one of Britain's leading golf authorities on our CBS telecast. Henry, come back and see us again. This is Jack Whitaker, then, speaking for John Durr, Jack Dries, Carrie Middlecoff, George Rogers, Henry Longhurst, and myself, saying so long from the Pleasant Valley Country Club in Sutton, Massachusetts. The second annual Carling World Golf Championship has been brought to you by the Carling Brewing Company, brewers of Carling Black Label, the beer with more life in the flavor, and Carling Red Cap, the U.S. ale made with fine imported ingredients, and by B.F. Goodrich Tires, the tough breed of tires for the hard-driving man. CBS Sport Coats by Palm Beach Company. All-weather golf shoes by Atonic. Sanzabelt Slacks by J-Mar Ruby Incorporated. The Carling World Golf Championship has been produced by CBS Television Sports.